How's everybody doing today? I hope you're having an amazing day. What's up? I appreciate you hopping on. If you could, just share this with a couple of friends. I'm going to have my man, Coach Sharpen. I'm going to have him on a call today, and he's going to be giving some valuable information, letting everyone here know exactly how to find motivated sellers quickly, how to blow up your real estate business.
What up, bro?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Man, I'm too blessed to be stressed, my friend. How's your day going?
I heard that, brother. It's going amazing, man. Can't complain at all, brother.
I love it. I love it. Man, I literally just jumped from one to the next. So I appreciate you being patient with me, man. I didn't miss anything, I hope.
Yeah, no, not at all, brother. Not at all. We're getting started right here at 6. A few more people's coming in. But I know you're super busy as well, so we can get started whenever you like. I know you're about to share a lot of valuable information with everyone tonight, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. So, man, where are you at nowadays, man? Talk to me about you.
Yes, sir.
You guys share this out, because I promise you, if you've ever wanted to be in real estate, or maybe you're in business, or maybe you're in sales and not a business owner, I promise you, by the end of this live stream, you're never going to be the same. So make sure you share this out, invite some people in, because this is going to change your life.
1,000%.
What have you been up to, man?
I've been great, brother. I've been great. I'm actually still in Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is near Philly. But man, since the last time we met, I believe it was in Vegas, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
yes,
brother.
Sir. Thrive.
Yeah, Thrive, man. I've took a lot of your strategies, a lot of your sales, systems and skills that you taught me. And from that point, brother, literally within that 10, 15 minute conversation we had, like double my sales, seems like overnight, bro.
Good, man. Good. I'm excited. What do you think has been your biggest nugget so far that you've implemented?
Definitely the rack, man. The rack. It helped me to realize, man, that less is more, and just adding that emotion on to what they're already saying and digging deeper is so powerful, man.
I love it.
Yes,
awesome, man.
All right, brother. Well, yeah, we can get started here, man. I think my kids are settled down in the background. You probably heard them.
I did.
All right, brother. So, yeah, we got Coach Sharpen here today, one of the nation's best sales coaches. And again, just share this out. I appreciate everyone jumping on. Jameer, what's up? What's going on, Johnny? I appreciate you guys. Just share this out with a couple of friends if you can. I always like to start kind of like from childhood, just from the very beginning, talking about some of the things that, you went through and how it kind of affected you to who you are today. So if you don't mind, just share with us, man. How was it like growing up for you? And,
it was horrible.
You said horrible?
It was horrible. No, I'm just, at the end of the day, I wish that I could say that I had a rough childhood. It was what I made of it, And so my story is going to resonate with a whole bunch of you. And before I dig into that, I just want to say thank you, my man. I appreciate you for bringing me in and sharing with your audience. I seen you live last week. I'm like, man, I got to get in with you, man, and just pour into your audience. So I appreciate you letting me do that, man. And I wanted to see your face, bro. I miss you, and I appreciate you, and I love your energy. So thank you for having me on this evening. If you guys don't know me, my name is Bryce McKinley. They call me Coach Sharpen. Now you know what time it is. I'm an international keynote speaker. I speak with Ty Lopez, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, just to name a few. I just got done doing an event last month with Damon John from Shark Tank, or FUBU, however you know him. And, I could go on and on. Actually, we got a big event in October with Dr. Eric Thomas here in Dallas. It's going to be interesting making the shift from being on stage with him to being in virtual. But we could talk all day about the accolades that I have that bring me to where I am. But it's really about the audience. Right now, where you're at, no matter where you're at, I want you to know, just like my friend Les Brown would say, that you have greatness inside of you. I didn't always believe that. You see, my story starts out in a small town in the middle of Illinois, Iowa border. And I grew up in a very cult-like religion. Like, I don't know if you guys know what Pentecostal is, but there's like this kind of Pentecostal that speaks in tongues, and there's this kind of Pentecostal that like handles snakes. And it's like, I was like right over this way, very cult-like religion. And so my story starts there because everything that I knew about God went out the window at a very young age, because I seen growing up in this religion that this was the box that I lived in. But when my mom cheated on my dad and my parents separated and I moved into the inner city of Chicago and the housing projects and gang-infested, dope-dealing crackheads right outside of my door, I knew that I had to become somebody different. I had to become somebody that was tough and hard and resilient. I didn't know what that looked like. So what did I do? I started gangbanging. I started dope dealing. And by the age of 14, I had been shot a couple times. By the age of 17, I had already beat 2 counts of murder. But that wasn't going to be the story that defined me. You see, I had a second chance at life. And the second chance was when my uncle grabbed me by the ear and that second murder case was acquitted. And he said, "You're going to come live with me." Moved to Davenport, Iowa, at a small car dealership. He put me to work detailing cars. And man, it's cold in Iowa. It's cold in the middle of December in Iowa. And I'll never forget, my birthday's Christmas Eve. So if y'all want to remember that, try competing with baby Jesus. Like, it's just not easy. And my birthday's Christmas Eve. And my uncle said, "If you can sell a car tonight," this was about a week before my birthday, "I'll put you on the sales team next week." So that's what I did. I opened a phone book. I went through their computer of their service records. I started calling past customers and trying to set appointments for new customers to come in and get their oil change over the next week or so. I ended up getting 5 people to come into the dealership that snowy afternoon. They needed new tires, they needed oil change, whatever it was. And out of those 5, I sold 3 cars that day. I got on the sales team next week. I didn't know what I had at the time, but over the next 18 months, I would be recruited out of my dealership, become the #1 car salesman in the world. Heck, I haven't even sold a car to this day. I haven't sold a car in over 11 years. I still hold the record for the automotive industry for most cars sold in a day, a month, a year, and so forth, because of what we did. What we did was a process. You see, I had my first coach and mentor actually hired by Ford Motor Company that said, "Son, you're rough around the edges. We need to get what's in your head out." And so they ended up hiring a coach and a mentor and having me dissect how I ran the streets and what I did when I was dealing dope and what I did when I was selling cars. And next thing you know, I've got this 7-step process, this 5-step process. And if I just repeat them one after another, I would end up going in the automotive industry to making over $80 million. I had 5 contracts with Ford, Nissan, Toyota, Honda, and a couple of used car lots that you might know of. And it was fun, man. It was fun. But wouldn't you know it, just like some of you watching this, hoping to be inspired, life hit me right between the nuts, like right between the eyes. And I had to stop where I was, because while I was on top of everything, I was losing control of everything that mattered. You see, in 2006, I had a son that was killed. In 2008, my wife took her life. Her mom, being my Sunday school teacher as a child, I didn't know how bad that was going to impact me. All I knew how to do was work. But over the next 18 months, between 2008 and March of 2010, I would squander $80 million, 5 companies up my nose and out in a bottle. I didn't know what I was going to do. And then I got a call one night, March of 2010. The girl that I'd been messing around with, she got pregnant. It's funny how that works, right? I'm like, yeah, right. No, she was. And over the next 9 months, we would end up going to have a baby, hashtag the middle school millionaire. So if you've got kids, like, have your kids follow my son. He's 9 years old, he's autistic, and he's done over $12 million in his own personal business to date. But that little boy would change my life. That little boy gave me new hope. And so a lot of you guys watching this right now are wondering, like, man, I got my why, but your why is not big enough. See, your why is just simply a carrot out in front of you. Your why has got to be something within. You see, they call me Coach Sharpen because this is an acronym for selflessly helping already persons eager for nurturing. I'm picky about who I work with, and I only work with people that are serious about working with me. You heard Jay say earlier, man, I took your 5 steps to the conversation and I doubled my business. That's what I'm serious about. So I appreciate you having me on. And so over the last 8-9 years now, I'm a single dad I just recently got married. My wife's a fitness coach. Man, I've been super blessed. She's a 12 on a scale from 1 to 10, so way out of my league. But man, I've been super blessed. The last 2 years speaking on stages with some of the biggest people in the world, most recognizable people in the world, just featured in Entrepreneur Inc. and Forbes magazine in the last 6 months, and doing it in real estate. I was sleeping in my car 8 years ago with my boy after just getting custody of my son, and now I found some loopholes in real estate that most people hear about, but they don't ever understand. And I've been fortunate to actually exploit them and make those loopholes even bigger. And so we've coached over 300 students with a 100% success rate, and we've closed over 7,400 as of last month. We over 7,400 houses in the last 7.5. It'll be 8 years in October. And the funnest part is we've done it completely virtual from the comfort of my home. I did 37 deals on the beach of Hawaii last year on my honeymoon, man. Been super blessed. And so, man, for being on here and doing everything else that I do, I'm ready to give it all away. As Lecrae would say on the Anomaly album, I'm just giving it away now.
That's awesome, brother. And again, man, I appreciate that, bro, because, you're just reiterating your story, man. A lot of that I was, even unfamiliar with. So the fact that, like you mentioned, all the accolades and everything that you have, but at the end of the day, brother, you're a great-hearted person. The things you do in the community, the philanthropy, and all the content that you're pushing out heavily, man, it's well-deserved, man. And I'm glad that you're just getting on here and giving some time to the audience, brother. I want to talk about the virtual real estate business, but before we go into that, I am a little curious, man, because where you were versus where you are today, man, complete, change. From you, what do you feel like was the intangibles, like the mindset shifts that really sparked that beginning for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the question would have to be posed is, what's better, to have or to want? To have, yes. Right. And so your audience watching this, they want success, but they're not willing to have it because they don't understand. They see this tangible success story. They say, oh, if I can make 6 figures, I'm going to be successful. And they hold on to that. But with your hands closed, a closed fist don't get fed. So you have to have success in order to gain success. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but we were created as human beings and not human doings. And a lot of people go around life just doing things that they think will make them successful. But when they start being the successful person that they've already been called to be, they'll see more success continue to show up. And so that for me was kind of the pivot. September 28th, when the gun jammed in my mouth because I was done with life, I knew that I had to do something, but I couldn't no longer do all these things. I had to be someone else. And I literally, just like Moses out in the desert, Noah with his ark, I heard the voice of God said, I'm not done with you yet. And God to me is kind of gangster. I mean, he turned water into wine and cussed out a bunch of priests. So I call him bro. And I'm like, all right, bro, show up. And that's how I talk to him. And wouldn't you know it, he did. I mean, if I could show you, we could walk around here.
Yeah, please, man.
Sitting in the studio, in the office, but I don't know if you can see that water tower out there. That water tower was where I was 8 years ago when I put the gun in my mouth and I pulled the trigger 3 times. And now I sit in the biggest house in the subdivision that we developed, overlooking the water tower. So I never forget where I came from. And so I think the biggest shift for me was stop doing and start being. Because when you can be everything that you wanted to be, it's just a matter of putting a step in front of the other. And that's the difference.
1000%. Yeah, start becoming, stop thinking, stop doing, start becoming. Wow, this is super powerful, guys. You know, a lot more just within the first 15 or so minutes than I was even expecting. Guys, share this out with friends and family. If you have a relative, a friend, a business partner who you feel like would be touched by this message, who would add value to their life, please share this out. And we're going to talk more about the challenge that he has, how to actually get motivated sellers quickly, high motivated leads within 5 days. Going back to the virtual real estate, brother, all these loopholes, man, all this information that you have, you're closing 40, 50, 60 deals a month from the beaches, all virtually. And a lot of people probably didn't even know that existed. Please tell us how, brother.
I didn't know that existed. I didn't know what we were doing had such a great impact, because you see all these gurus all over the internet. I mean, heck, I've got like less than 2,000 followers on Instagram. And it's like, you've got guys with 10,000 and 100,000. It's like, dude, those guys are barely doing 10 deals a month with a team of 20 people.
You're right.
I've got a staff of 4. It's not about what you do, it's how you do it. And so I learned that really, really quick. Like, I could leverage other people and put them into a proven process. And that's what we've done over and over and over again. And so now to date, in October, it'll be 8 years. And we've closed over 7,400 transactions. I've only walked like 4 properties, completely virtual. Those 4 I've ended up buying and owning. We've got a little over 1,100 rentals in our portfolio. I own a real estate retail brokerage now, the coaching company, a wholesale company. Actually just bought an island down in Belize. Going to be building on that. Thank you, man. Yeah, that's been on my vision board for 2 years. I'm pretty excited about that. And so, yeah, man, that's I forgot where I was going, but yeah, we've been super blessed. We actually be what we say we are instead of just talk about it, you know? I mean, hell, I had a Lambo for about 2 weeks, and when you're 6'5" and 250, rolling out a Lambo is not very fun. So ended up getting rid of that pretty quick. So that stuff doesn't impress me, you know? It's about what we can do for others. So
1000%. Yeah, man. Yeah. So just kind of like in layman's terms, basically what you're doing is you're finding people that's in distressed situations anywhere in the nation who wants to get out of their situation, and you're basically helping them by buying their home as an investor.
Yeah, think about it. What's up, Kathy? My wife just jumped on here. I see you, lady.
Hey,
so
Kathy.
Wholesaling real estate is this. It's essentially getting a property under contract for a discounted price and then selling the paper to somebody else that wants a house that's discounted. And think of it like this. If you're watching this right now, you probably know somebody that's grandma passed away, maybe their wife left them, husband left them, they lost their job, and they got behind on their bills. Any or all of those situations, the tax man called and the bill was bigger than they expected. Maybe they went out of town and forgot to mow the grass, and now there's a whole bunch of bills piling up. Those types of people need to sell their home, and after being in it 20 years and living paycheck to paycheck, they just can't afford to get out from underneath of it. So we come in, I believe when I shut that door behind me and I put this hat on, I believe that I'm a superhero, because now I get to win situations and help them out of tough situations, put some cash back in their pocket. Either, we hold on to it, we sell the paper or whatever. But it's been really fun. It's been really fun, and it's been a blessing. I mean, heck, my wife, she's on here. She met me when I was in a 1-bedroom apartment just coming up. And she's seen the rod. She's seen the rod. So Yeah, that's wholesaling real estate. And when you do it the right way, not only do you help and serve others, but you have an opportunity to buy houses for pennies on the dollar. And after a couple of transactions, I mean, heck, the national average on a deal is $7,000 to $8,000. You do one or two of those a month, you're making good money.
Yeah.
Now with my process, my students are averaging 11, 12, 13,000 per deal because of our process. You do two or three of those again, now you're doing some real business, a couple $1 million a year, even if you're just doing one or two.
Yeah. And with you being in the industry so long, I'm sure you've seen certain cycles, ups and downs. Of course, everything's going on with COVID and the pandemic right now. How is that affecting the wholesaling game right now? Is it probably, I would say, probably increasing, going through the roof with people?
It's better than ever.
Yeah.
I mean, when the economy's good, people are still getting divorced, losing jobs, and getting behind on bills because Americans are dumb and we like to live paycheck to paycheck. These people are one bad apple away, or there's even tired landlords that are sick of dealing with their properties, right? So when the economy's good, wholesaling real estate is good. When the economy's bad, our business is better than ever. Matter of fact, May was our biggest month in 8 years. June, we doubled that. In July, we doubled that.
Nice. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. As far as, I know we probably have a lot of sales professionals on here as well. Could you just give some tips on, some of the sales strategies and some of the things that are working for you, or better yet, maybe a shift in, a sales mentality or process that simplified everything for you and kind of got you to the point to where you were actually able to create these systems and help hundreds of people?
I like that. I think that, I'll use the same thing that I taught you that day that we talked about, those 5 steps to every conversation. And this what I'm going to share with you guys right now, guys, gals, ladies, men, whomever's on here, what I'm about to share with you will not only change the trajectory of your business, but it's going to help you get your kids to pick up their clothes. It's going to help you get your husband, your wife to do the dishes, do the laundry. So the way that I look at sales and business is it's simply a conversation. Whether you're working a retail store like Dillard's or Macy's, or maybe you're selling your plumbing services, or maybe you're trying to sell your record album, whatever that is, it's real quick. It's marketing going out, meaning you're talking about yourself. And then you've got, my phone's about to die, so I didn't realize that. So you've got marketing going out, and then you've got, let me get this set up here, bro. Can you see me all right?
Yeah, you're so good, brother.
So you've got marketing going out, people come to you, or you find leads, and then you have a conversation. That's business. That's it. And then you close the business. It's that simple. The hardest part is not the leads. People always think, well, leads are so hard. How do you come? There's so many marketing companies out there that will sell you leads. It's stupid because everybody thinks that getting started in business, well, I got to find my customer. Well, who's your customer? Like, who buys CDs? Everybody. Now narrow it down. Who buys your type of CD? There's your demographic. That's your market. Go have conversations with those people. So the hardest part that people fail to realize is actually having an intelligent conversation that leads them from just a lead or a prospect to actually doing business with you. And I keep looking at myself. I've got a bet right now with my son. I've got a mustache. I don't normally have a mustache, y'all, so forgive me. This is throwing me off every time I see myself. That's the distraction. So keep commenting. Tell a big hell yes if you guys are liking this, so that way it distracts me with comments. If you guys are enjoying this, give me a hell yes in the comments. Share this out. Do something. Just don't do nothing. Because here's the deal. The biggest challenge that people struggle with is actually having intelligent conversations. And what I mean by that is they overthink it. People tend to try to make friends with people by finding something in common. And that's just not the case. Like, if you were to tell me that you have a boat and a big house, and I'm like, oh, I got a boat and a big house. You don't give a shit about my boat and a big house.
Yeah.
Like, you would feel better if I said, oh, wow, you've got a boat? That's exciting. What kind of boat do you have? Yeah. Right? And I know you're not, and you know what I'm doing here. Right. And it's like, holy cow, you got a big house? How many rooms are in that house? People like to freaking talk about themselves. So the more you can get your prospect to talk about themselves, the better you are in closing the deal. For example, man, Jay, I see you got Billionaire Magazine out there. Have you been featured in that yet, bro?
Yeah, not yet, man. Not yet, but definitely coming soon.
It's definitely coming soon, dude. That's exciting. How far out do you think? 3-6 months?
Yeah, maybe a little longer than that. Maybe about 3 to 6 years. Man,
hey, 3 to 6 years. At least you've got your goal. That's exciting, man. What's holding you back from making it 3 to 6 months?
Man, finding someone who's been featured on the magazine or people in that environment that I could get around and learn from.
Wow. So if you found the right people, that would be overwhelming and you'd be excited, right?
Yeah, that would be life-changing.
Boom. You see what I'm doing, you guys? I'm asking him questions about something that's in his room, and now he's excited to talk about it. You notice he just perked up. He started smiling like he knows what I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm able to get him thinking, I can do it sooner. And that's what you can do with your clients, and that's what you can do with your customers. I chalk up the 5-step conversation to going to the gym. Like, you don't have to go to the gym to know what the steps are at the gym. Like, what's the first thing you do when you go to the gym? You warm up. Like, you stretch out, because otherwise what? You get hurt. Yeah. Somebody put step 1, warm up in the comments. And then what happens? Well, you don't just go over to the bench and start bench pressing 700-800 pounds. No, a bodybuilder starts out at 200, 225, 250. They bridge the gap. So step 2 is bridging the gap. So if I'm in a conversation and we've warm fuzzied and we've gotten chummed and we're friends, well, now I got to bridge the gap and I've got to move the needle to start talking about the business. The easiest way to do that is to do it like everybody else did. The successful guy that worked out at the gym, he didn't start out at 500 pounds, he bridged the gap. So if you're gonna go work out at the gym, I'm gonna say, hey, if you wanna be like so-and-so, start out here. I do the same thing in conversation. Man, most of the people that I talk to, they wanna know what I do and how I do it, but more importantly, like how we massively benefit their business. Is that the same types of questions that you have? And they're always like, yeah, and how much does it cost? Great. And besides that, tell me a little bit more about what you're looking for when we do business today. So I bridge the gap. I start moving the needle and I get them engaged because they already love me. And then I go into step 3. Step 3 is probably the funnest part for me, which is the most difficult for people that are afraid to get their money. And so if you're not afraid to get your money, just like at the gym, you got to put in the work, right? So step 3 is what I call asking defeating questions. When you're at the gym and you're trying to get your money, well, rep 8, rep 9, you start creating a limiting belief in your head that you're weak. So step 3 is ask defeating questions. So now if I was having the same conversation with Jay, right? Like, are you okay with me calling you Jay? Like,
yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool, brother.
All right, so if I'm having the same conversation as earlier, defeating questions sound like, gosh, so you haven't been in the room with these people yet?
Yeah, not yet, man. That's unfortunately no.
God, unfortunately not. That's got to be frustrating. Like, what the hell have you been doing?
Yeah. I keep saying I'm going to, man. They have conferences and meetups. I just, this comes up, that comes up,
So you keep showing up, but you're not showing up. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, when you put it that way, that sounds, I never thought about it like that, but yeah.
And see, you guys, I'm actually like coaching him to think differently right now because I know what some of his dreams are, and I know how far he's come in such a short time. And these are the same types of questions that you have to be considering when you're trying to be a business owner, when you're trying to drum up new business. Like, are you willing to go the extra mile to ask your clients questions that might hurt a little? Because you're there to help them. So now at the gym, what do? When you've asked these defeating questions in your conversation, at the gym, when you're done, you rack the bar. You RAQ throughout the entire conversation. You repeat, you acknowledge, and you ask questions. This is from step 1 to 5. But step 4 is you close the deal. And the only way you'll truly close business or gain new clients is by opening up their eyes that your product or service is the best one that fits their needs, wants, and desires. So the rack is repeating. So, gosh, that's frustrating. That's got to be overwhelming. He said it's frustrating. I said it's frustrating. I acknowledge it with a feeling or an emotion. That's got to be overwhelming. Question, what the hell have you been doing? And it's like, he kind of thought about it, right? Like he kind of stepped back. He's like, you're right. I should be doing more. In his head, he's already like, what should I do next?
Right.
Now in step 4, which is close the deal, get the transaction, go for the objective, get your wife to do the dishes, the husband to wash your car, the kids to pick up the laundry. You go in for the objective, you close the deal. Gosh, Jay, I know it's overwhelming and you've been working your butt off. What if I told you that by showing up at this mastermind, if you give me 10% of your trust and I earn the other 90%, I'll introduce you to the editor of Billionaire Magazine. Would you be okay with paying that $2,000 ticket to join me at the next event?
Right, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you could do that, I've been wanting to meet him for years.
Boom. You've been wanting to meet him for years. Gosh, this has got to be exciting. I'm going to rack him again. Well, we can definitely do that. That's easy. So I got to ask, step 5, what do we do at the gym when we're done working out? We cool off, we stretch out. So step 5, we warm down. Jay, now that you know that you and I are going to go to the event in October in Dallas and meet ET and get you on Billionaire Magazine, how you going to celebrate tonight, bro? I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to warm down, and I'm going to warm with form, FORM. Because if you don't know what somebody's for, you'll never solve someone's motivation. Let me repeat that. You always warm with form, FORM. You'll never solve someone's motivation or money issues if you don't know what they're for. And so now, if this was a real life situation, right? Like it's a virtual event, but in October, man, be my guest. Come hang out with me and Eric Thomas in the event. That's no big deal. I mean, his guy is like one of the publishers and editors over there, right? He's got 2 writers in Billionaire Magazine. Let's go. And I just use that as an example, but now I just closed the deal. I know that Jay's going to show up with me to the event. He's going to pay a $2,000 ticket, and that, right? Like, and this is all hypothetical, but that's the 5 steps to every conversation. You warm up, you talk about what they're for, but you ask them questions throughout the entire process. You bridge the gap. You ask more defeating questions. You're the doctor. It's like when you go to the doctor, right? Like, I think my leg's broken. Oh, this one? Oh, does it hurt when I do this? They just keep digging. They keep digging. And then, oh, yeah, it's broke. Here's what you need to do. You become the doctor at everything that you're doing. The only doctor that can prescribe the medication is the specialist, right? The one that knows exactly what's wrong with your ailment. And when you do that, you'll win more clients every day. You'll solve more problems, and you'll be the superhero every single time.
That is so much good information, brother. And another big thing there, the tonality you use, and even deeper than that, man, one thing I realized after having the conversation with you, not only how to simplify and how to dig deeper, but the fact that if you actually genuinely care, about what you're doing, how to impact, it's so much easier to dig deeper and ask those defeating and hard questions, man, because you generally have that compassion and that positive outlook for the client.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I actually just wrote a list of pain instigators that work in any situation. I wrote it out. And this is something, I had Russell Brunson paid me $100,000 to teach him the psychology of the sale. I mean, that takes like 2 days to do, to really understand what all we just went through. And yeah, I mean, I just wrote down, I'll give you 3.
Okay, awesome.
Why have you tried doing this so long all by yourself? Something needs to change, yes? So you're currently closing X amount of deals and you want to close X amount of deals. Tell me, what's stopping you from achieving that on your own? So those are like, I just grabbed them. I've got a sheet here. I've got about 30 of them. So we're actually going to be giving this away at our event coming up. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
Dude, you're awesome. You're awesome, man. I appreciate it. I know you're super busy, brother. So I want to end this, man, by just letting people know how they could follow you, how they could get involved with you. Talk about the challenge, the Facebook group, the virtual event, because I know without a shadow of a doubt, because I, went through it my personal self, man, when I was just first getting started in high ticket sales. I think the first person I talked to was Ryan Stewman, and you were the next person, man. And I know just off the free information, man, and the value you give, that it could literally impact people's business. So yeah, man, just let people know how they can get involved with you. And if they're smart, they definitely will.
I love that you brought that up. We talked at the beginning of this. If you guys are just coming on, you have to make sure that you go back to his IGTV, and I hope that you save these for everybody to watch on the replay. We talked about all those posers that created these names, and I'll be honest with you, he is one. All those mansions and Lambos, bro. That mansion, it was an apartment building that I owned that he rented from me. So, I mean, I don't like people that scam people, and so I'm just real. I just tell it like it is. I have nothing to hide, and I'm an open book, man. As far as getting a hold of me, man, I'm very simple. You can find me at Coach Sharpen right here on Instagram, or if you search Bryce McKinley, BRYCE McKinley on Facebook. I've got a lot more activity over there just because I understand it. I'm a little older, like I'm almost 40 now, and
yeah, you look 20, man.
I appreciate it. It's the mustache, right? I'm trying to go for that Chicano thing. But at the end of the day, I think if I could ask you guys to do anything, if you've ever wanted to be in real estate, literally I've been paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to speak on stage for 45 minutes. I've been paid $50,000 and $25,000 to speak on stage for 1 hour. I'm going to open up my books on the 28th and 29th this month for the first time. I'm doing a 2-day event. It's virtual. You can do it right from your home. And you guys, that's probably going to be the closest you'll ever get to me. I'm spending $10,000 a day on ads right now. And so this is literally the biggest thing that real estate's ever seen, because I'm sick of just taking 1 or 2 clients at a time. The world needs to better understand how to converse and communicate, and 2, how to build wealth, because I wasn't taught this stuff. I didn't know what I was doing as a gangbanging, dope dealing, thug. I didn't know this stuff, but I wish that somebody would have told me. And so that's kind of my life's purpose, is to be what I wish that I had. And so if that resonates with you guys and you want to come and hang out, it's $100, like $99. I'm going to open my books for 2 days. I'm going to go through our top secret files. I've got, my scripts, over 300 scripts that I use for how I get my leads. I've got my process of the sale, literally my morning routine, my morning affirmations. I'm going to go through my actual script and setting the appointment and then getting the deal. The same scripts that I've used to close over 7,000 plus transactions. You guys want to join me? The number 5, hourfliplive.com. 5hourfliplive.com. It's August 28th and 29th, Friday and Saturday. I believe it's 10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Friday and Saturday. It's 2 days. It's $100. You're going to get $100 million worth of information. And I actually just had a testimonial. I was trying to pull it up here, but I'm not tech savvy enough to do it all at the same time. I've got a testimonial from a lady that went through our last challenge, and legitimately within 24 hours, she contracted 5 houses. Those 5 houses made her over 120 grand in less than 24 hours of going through this 2-day process. So, and she's in Canada. She did those deals in Atlanta. So you can do my process from anywhere to anywhere.
That's awesome, brother. Yeah, and I pinned it, so anyone that's even remotely interested, man, please go there, register, and get signed up. I would, August 28th, 29th, I'll definitely be on as well. Anyway, I can show my support any way that I could add value to you, man. You've been a huge impact on my life, especially just getting started with, again, just the little, conversations we had, brother. So I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, man. I appreciate you. I'm curious. I don't know how much time you have. I made an hour for this. So or how much time do we have? Do you got 30 minutes, 40 minutes? What do you got?
Yeah, I have about 25, 30 more minutes. I believe with Instagram, after about 50 minutes, it cuts off.
Okay.
Did you want to get some Q&A or?
Yeah, I just wanted to see if anybody had any questions, if there's anything that I can do to help while we're right here. There's, 8 or 9 people. I can't see it, just fluctuates. If you guys have any questions, maybe about your business, where you're at, if there's anything I can do to help your audience, my friend, I'd be honored. Yeah,
absolutely. Let's see if anyone in here has some questions, they can go ahead and write them out here. Definitely. Talk about, I guess, where do you think the market is going? I know you're heavily within the real estate market. Some people, everyone knows that they should own real estate or, be constantly doing real estate transactions. But, at a time like this, maybe they're a little hesitant to start. And I know you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but if you could dive more deeper into that, why do you feel like now is the best time?
Now's the best time because we have perfected the model. Like, there have been investors all over the world for years talking about real estate with no money, out of pocket, walkety, and they want you to apply for loans and leverage credit cards. Like, dude, when I had $32 to my name and I was sleeping in my car, like, I figured it out. And so, I mean, heck, I think our ad budget, even doing 100 deals a month, our ad budget's like $1,000 a month. So it's not like I'm spending hundreds of thousands of dollars like a lot of these screw-roos out there, As far as where the market's going, I haven't been in real estate enough, but I've been in business long enough to see what's going on. And just like what happened in 07, 8, and 9, we're in like 2009 right now. We're in the worst part of it. And then it's gonna dip down a little bit further after the election. And then after the election, it's gonna sky back up. It's the best time to get in real estate. And then after about a year, the Fed bubble is gonna pop and we're gonna be in a shithole. Excuse my language. We are gonna be in a world of mess. And so if you're not preparing now, you better start today. That's all the more reason to jump on that link, 5-Hour Flip Live for 2 days, and see what we're doing and how we're creating millionaires. I mean, you can watch the video on the page. I've got students that have been created millionaires in less than 6 months walking through my program, and so that's been a blessing in disguise. I've seen somebody ask a couple questions.
Yeah.
Juicy said, can you explain wholesaling again? So essentially, Juicy, what wholesaling is like grandma died and left you a property, but because you're 18 or maybe you're 35 or maybe you're married with kids and you have your own property, you can't afford grandma's, you got to sell it. But grandma's been there for 50 years and you don't have 100 grand to make the house look like new, so you sell it at a discount. And when you sell it at a discount, I get your house under contract. Let's say that $200,000 house, I get it under contract for $50,000 because it needs $100,000 in work. Well, then I sell the paper to Jay for $60,000. So now he owns a $200,000 house for $160,000. By the time he's got his own money invested in it, I've walked away and made a quick 10 grand. That's the easiest way. It's two different contracts, a contract with the seller and a contract with the end buyer, and the difference is what you get paid in between. The national average, they get paid between $5,000 and $7,000. With my process, my students are getting paid $11,000 to $12,000 on every deal.
Yeah. And just to reiterate, Juicy, you don't need a realtor's license. You don't need anything like that.
I beat 2 murder cases by 17. I'm not proud of that. I couldn't get a real estate license if I wanted to. Yeah. And now I own a brokerage that's a licensed brokerage, and we own 2 of the largest market shares with Keller Williams in North Texas. So, I mean, I'm not licensed. We own 2 of the largest franchises with Keller Williams. So we're doing all right.
That's awesome, brother. That's awesome. And if you want us to reiterate on that, let us know, please, and he can go deeper. Another question, how can I go about getting an FHA loan without pay stubs?
Yeah, so that's a tough question. I don't deal with FHA myself, and that would be a question for a lender. I'm not a lender, and so every lender is going to be different. If you want private money, I've got money. I'm going to pull your credit. I'm going to look at your past history. I'm not going to look at your pay stubs. I'm going to look at what you paid on. And so if you need money and you're looking for money, it's going to be a little higher interest. But if you can't get it from a bank, I've got money that I'm willing to lend. It's going to be a little higher interest and a little shorter term, but that's an option and possibility too. We call that private money or hard money, depending on what it is.
Gotcha. Great question, Conchi. E-estates, would the event only be about wholesaling, or will you talk about other aspects of real estate, flips, notes, liens, etc.?
Yeah, great question. So the event is actually going to be all about the process. This process can be duplicated. I mean, if you guys didn't catch the first half of this, I came from the automotive industry, and prior to that, gangbanging and dope dealing. It's the same process. It's just a different widget. So specifically, people that are just getting started typically look at doing wholesaling first, but you can use the same process to do flips and notes and liens and hard money, all of that. It's the exact same process. So if you trust the process and follow the steps, you can apply it to just about anything. Great question.
Awesome.
Choosing your license expired, even better. No need a license.
Yeah, my license expired. Awesome. That's a great question, guys. I appreciate you guys being active and sharing this out. I'm just seeing if there's any more questions.
Damon John's assistant just texted me and said, can we set up another call?
That's awesome, a good time. That's awesome, brother. I'm trying to get to where you're at, man. Be one of the top sales gurus and leaders in the game.
And I've just been, what's up, Jesus? This is my AV guy. You know what time it is, bro. Go ahead and share this out. You're catching the tail end of it, but I know you've been traveling today. Man, I appreciate you, Jay. I appreciate every single one of you guys. So if you haven't already, go to the 5hourfliplive.com, get your ticket. I'm going to open my books, and estates, he asked for any books you'd recommend. I would say hang on, because my book is coming. There ain't going to be anything like it. Nothing like it. I break down the psychology. I break down where leads come from for every business. I would say hurry up and wait. I talk about the promise, the value proposition, and I summarize everything. There's not a book out there that's going to give you what I can give you. I've read every one of Grant Cardone's books, and it's all regurgitated the same stuff that works for him, and it doesn't work for a lot of other people, but he's got some good stuff. If you're looking for sales books, if you're looking for real estate books, I mean, Think and Grow Rich, just don't fall into the sales pitch at the back of the book. There's a lot easier way and a lot less expensive way to do it. Or not Think and Grow Rich, that's a good book too, but I was thinking of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and Kiyosaki's book. Yeah, there's so many different books out there. It's just a matter of grabbing them and applying them. You can read all the books in the world. I mean, I've got books all over my office. You can see a little library there, a big library on the other side of the house. You can have all the books in the world, but if you don't take action, those books are just simply sitting there collecting dust. And so I keep two journals at all times and a book in my hand at all times. And so I would say join this at the 2-day event. And, you know, one of my mentors is Caleb Maddox's dad, Matt Maddox, is one of my best friends. And he and I are famous for saying this: when you're in the presence of masters, you ask more questions. And so there's no wrong question. You just may not get the answer that you need if you don't ask more specific questions. So any books on any topic, learn psychology, learn NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. When you learn NLP and psychology of humans, you can be and do anything you want in life.
Yeah, awesome, brother. Thank you so much. I do, and this randomly just popped into my head, man. How do you get yourself to think bigger after accomplishing a goal? Like, for example, you said you just bought your island. Like, and then you talk about your journal as well. So you accomplished the goal. How do you think bigger, man? What do you can do to continue to have that grip?
I think the difference between highly influential people and people that want to be highly influential are, I'm willing to do what others won't so that I can have what others want, right? So like if I turn this around, this is my vision board. This is the type of stuff that I look at every single morning, right? Like I'm not in that kind of shape yet, but I'm surprisingly romantic and I'm changing the world, right?
Absolutely.
I'm buying an island. I'm working on a jet and a yacht right now. I'm being my son.
Definitely.
Spend more time with family, at work at 6. Like I got a cutoff, right? And I got a chair right here. Every morning I sit in this chair and that's what I do. I look at that. I think about what does the jet fuel smell like? I envision like, okay, like, oh shoot, I dropped my coffee walking up the steps to my jet. Or maybe on the rolls, right? On the rolls. So like in my Bentley, when I got my Bentley, you know, I did less than 30 days. I started visualizing the Bentley and looking at like, what's the leather smell like? Looking in my mind's eye, looking at myself in the reflection of the downtown skyscrapers and what it felt like, what it smelled like, what it looked like, right? And seeing myself in that position and then being the person that it takes to get in that position. You know, if you want a jet and a yacht and an island, probably ain't going out Friday night and doing dumb shit till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, when your wife's sitting at home with the kids, like that's not what a millionaire and billionaire is doing. You know, if it's buying an island and you want to buy an island, well, when the deal comes across your plate, you start calling people and raising money versus, man, I'll get back to you, and then you never call, do it again, right?
Yeah. So
that's probably the difference. Is I'm willing to do what others won't, so I can have what others want. I mean, this was last week, like on one of my businesses, right? Like we did $40K in a week on a new project, and that's a new project. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm being what it takes to be successful in that business. So that's probably the best answer I can give for that. Try to get back to my charger here.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. That's exactly what I needed to hear, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you asking. States asked, what are some of your routines, journal, vision boards? So yeah, so that's my vision board, right? Like I go through, you know what? I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you this. This is my routine every morning, right here. I make my bed. I take care of myself for 3 hours. I do gym deposits, affirmations for 30 minutes. My affirmations look like this. I'm a real man of God, a capable leader. Today, God's comes first. I choose to put his will above my own. I'll show others the grace that he showed me. I love others the way he loved me. I look for every opportunity to add value to those across my path. I see people as my priority, not my distraction. I use my talents, my strength, my time, not just better my life, blah, 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 right? Like, I read through that for 20 minutes. I'll get through that 7 or 8 times out loud, over and over and over. I trick my brain for 20 minutes. And then I do my visualization. I just showed you that. And then I've got a gratitude journal. This journal right here, it's always by my side everywhere I go. Matter of fact, Jay, you remember this one, right? You remember that one? When we were in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
I got another one. I got a new one. I'm like, I got 2 of them now, right? And then I meditate. I'll sit there in silence and just think and process and look at the pictures and like my devotion time. I spend time with God. I read Verse 15 app. I read a chapter a day in Proverbs, and then I read a chapter in my my devotion book. And then take my son to school, work out at the gym for an hour. And then during that hour between 8 and 9, I'm listening to my guys, right? My leaders. And so that's my morning routine. That's what I do every morning. 4:45 I'm up. By 5:15 my bed is made. You know, if you don't win your morning, you're not going to conquer your day. So
1,000%, man. Dude, this is awesome. This is awesome. This has probably been...
My business partner just jumped on. He's one of my business partners. Shout out to Kyle Clemmer.
What's up, brother? What's up, Kyle? What's going on, Pat? How's it going? So wonderful.
All right, I don't want us to get cut off because we're right at that 50-minute mark. Yeah. If you guys haven't already made a decision to be the person that you've always wanted to be, I'm going to implore you to do it now. Stop giving up on your dreams. Start doing what it takes to be the person that you want to be. Click the link, join us, 5hourfliplive.com. We're going to open up for 2 days. It's $100. Like, it's the best $100 you've ever spent in your life. I promise you that. And you're getting, I mean, I just gave you $1 million worth of information today. It's going to be 100 times that.
Yes, sir. Brother, again, thank you so much, man, for just being who you are. Amazing father, philanthropist. And, you know, you're a great example of what, you know, genuine, real hard work and leadership looks like. Again, man, you mentioned it earlier, a lot of fugaziness with the social media and marketing and followers and, you know, but when someone's really in the trenches every day and you have the results to prove it, it's just refreshing, brother. So thank you so much, man.
Heck, I mean, this is my schedule, man. I'm on the phone every day for 2 hours, my wheel day. Boom, boom. I still get in there on the phone every day. That's my calendar. Like, I do this. And that's one thing, like these other guys, they won't show you that stuff. I'm an open book. So I appreciate you for seeing that, man. I love you, bro. And if you guys need anything, Coach Sharpen here on Instagram. I'll see you guys August 28th and 29th at 5hourfliplive.com.
5hourflip.com. Love you, brother. Have a good one.
Love you, brother. Have a good night, man.
You too. All right, guys, that's my man, Coach Sharpen, a great individual, man. Incredible story, incredible comeback story, and I honestly forgot a lot of that. We hung out in Vegas. Yeah, he has a phenomenal story, and we were hanging out in Vegas. He told me a lot of this that I kind of slipped my mind, but yeah, just a phenomenal guy, phenomenal trainer, one of the top 5 sales trainers in the world, in my opinion. And again, you know, not 100,000, a million followers, but he's literally in the trenches every day. He lives for God, his son. He's trained his son to be an incredible entrepreneur, 12 million in revenue, and he's just now in middle school. The middle school millionaire is what they call him. So y'all are going to hear more about Coach Sharpen definitely within the next couple of months to a year. That's a fact. He's working with some of the top business minds in the world, and you will definitely hear about him. He's really vamping up his social media to serve and help more people. So guys, you know the vibes. Grind now, stunt later.